Hey folks, happy Canada Day. Having a beautiful sunny day here in the Okanagan. And I finally got around to this. I've been wanting to do this for months and months, and I carved out a day, and it just happened to be today, and today's Canada Day. So I'm sporting my Freedom Isn't Free t-shirt here, and it really fits. It wasn't planned, but it really fits with what I've been planning to talk about, like I said, for months. And hey, you know what? I am just going to bring some balance here because there's going to be so many happy, cheerful, Canada Day messages. Happy, happy, smile, smile. Well, what I want to talk about today relates to freedom. By the way, that's the horse that lives next door, and it really is a horse. So he'll be making commentary as I go through this. All right, and what is this? I'm talking today about, and by the way, this is a message that is client related. So I'll be posting this on my Bethesda Family Counseling website as well. But here you go. This is what I'm talking about here today. And sorry, no slides today, just we're doing it like this because I want to get it off today and don't want to mess around. This is called the Power and Control Wheel. And I want to talk about that because, well, because I'm a counselor and I'm all about helping people, bringing freedom to their hearts and to their lives. But the reason I'm sharing this today is because, like I said, I want to talk about this issue as it relates not to one or two or three abused women, but to the entire country. Okay, so how does this relate to the entire country? And it does, and I think you will agree with me by the time I go through this, unless you don't. But I think you'll see, if you stick to the end of this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because well, let's just dive in here. And as you go through this, by the way, you can look this up on Google Images, the Power Control Wheel. It's all there. Some are different than others, but they're generally the same. So you can look there and follow along with me. So the first thing that's mentioned in this wheel, and so by the way, when I go through this wheel with a client, what I'm doing with them is using this as an assessment tool. So I'm asking questions if they can relate to XYZ as I go around the wheel here. Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Yes, yes, yes. And as we get all the way through it, they can come to their own conclusion. Sometimes I'm even talking to the guys who are the abusers. And they realize, wow, okay, something's going on here that I need to work on. That would be nice if that worked out in this situation. But anyways, let's dive in here. First point here is, in the first point in the power control wheel is listed as intimidation. Let me read. Intimidation, making her afraid by using looks, actions, and gestures. Okay, how about actions? Now, as a country, like I said, I'm going to be relating this to us as a nation on Canada Day. So how about this? Intimidating people by saying, if you don't get vaxxed, or if you don't get the experimental gene therapy, which is a more accurate description because it's not really a vaccination, if you don't get it, you're going to lose your job. Tens of thousands of people have lost their livelihood, as you know, because they didn't get vaccinated. Okay? Same thing with lockdowns. If you didn't keep the rules, you would get fined. For example, I think that there's 6 or 7 pastors that were actually imprisoned in Canada for not following the rules. Now, if that's not intimidation, I don't know what is. If you're not familiar with Pastor Art Pawlowski, check him out on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about there. Pastor Art Pawlowski. Okay, what's the next one? Emotional abuse. Okay, so is he putting her down? making her feel bad about herself, calling her names, making her think that she's crazy, playing mind games, humiliating her. Okay? So we've heard it from our Prime Minister that if you don't get vaccinated, quote unquote, if you don't take the injection, you will, you will be intimidated. That was the first one. But also, he's calling not anti-vaxxers. I like to call them pro-choice, because most of us have taken vaccinations all of our life. We're not anti-vax, we're pro-choice. Let that sink in. It's about choice. The issue is about choice. That's the big one. That's the issue relating to freedom. It's about the freedom to choose. But if you don't, you will be embarrassed. What did we say? Emotional abuse. So you will be embarrassed, you will be shamed, you will be called racist, misogynistic, and on and on and on, right from the PM's mouth. That's called emotional abuse. Yeah, but he's the Prime Minister, he knows what he's talking about. He's always talking about the science, but he never gives you the science. Think about it, look it up, look for the science. It's emotional abuse, folks, and I don't care if you're the Prime Minister, it's emotional abuse. Okay, so now you see where I'm going with this in terms of this is an issue that all of Canadians have gone through for the last 2 years. So with my clients, it's all of their issues that they're dealing with, the regular stuff, if you will, the mental health issues or relational problems. It's all of that, plus everything that I'm talking about here. It's just not a few abused women. It's an entire country that's been abused. All right, let's move on. What about isolation? Isolation. So controlling what she does, who she sees and talks to, what she reads, online, offline, or online. Well, offline too, I suppose. And where she goes, limiting outside involvement. Okay, this isn't about the virus. This wasn't written. This was written years ago, decades ago. This is relating, but you can see how it relates to what we're talking about here on a nationwide basis. All right, so how does that affect us? Well, just go down the list. All right, what did we say quickly? Controlling what she does, who she sees, who she talks to, what she reads, and limiting her outside involvement. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, social distancing, right? Staying at home, folks. You need to stay at home. Controlling what you watch on the internet. Not going out, not allowing you or your kids to go out and play games. Wearing masks. All of that relates to isolation. I can't see your face. It's a form of isolation and abuse. Okay, I'm just kind of skimming all of this. There's a lot more, as you know, that I could say here. Okay, what's the next one? Next one is minimizing, denying, and blaming. What is that? So making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns seriously. Saying that the abuse didn't happen. Shifting responsibility for abusive behavior. Okay? All the freedom people, okay? All of the truckers, all of anyone, whether they're a trucker or not, people who want their Canadian Charter of Rights recognized, all of us simply want a voice. We want to be heard. That's what the truckers want. They just wanted for somebody to listen to them. That's what all it was. Okay? We're saying, hey, folks, my body, my choice. Okay? But if that's what you want, then you end up with blame. Okay? finger pointing again from the PM, angrily denying us, treating us like second-class citizens, treating us like we're unclean, and so on. Like I said, there's a lot more that could be said there. Okay, next one quickly is using children. I remember one press conference where Trudeau stood up and he was talking, again, finger pointing and blaming, denying anything, and any problem with himself, but pointing the finger out and saying, those people, you're putting our children at risk. And, you know, with great, using his great acting skills, great, I use in quotations, we're putting children, those who are pro-freedom, pro-choice, are putting children at risk. Well, folks, if you look at the statistics, it's probably a good thing for your children to catch COVID. It'll have very minor symptoms, less symptoms than a cold. I'm not saying that they should get it, but I'm saying that it gives them natural immunity, just like we used to do when, you know, we'd have chickenpox parties or measles parties or whatever it was, right? Same thing. So you get this natural immunity within your body and you're good to go for the rest of your life. That's the reality. And if you want to look up the statistics, by the way, go to jccf.ca, Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom, because I know a lot of you are going, yeah, well, what about? And there you can get a lot of government statistics, or you can go right to the government website and find out there what the actual statistics are. Don't go to the media. The media is being paid by Trudeau, and so you're not going to get the facts there, okay? So using children, making her feel guilty about the children, using children to relay messages, threatening to take children away. That's actually happened in the context of everything that's going on with the unclean, unvaxxed. All right, so next one, quickly. I'm gonna melt here. It's really warm. It is the Okanagan, so I gotta make it through this. Emotional, I know we did that. Economic abuse. Preventing her from getting or keeping a job. We already touched on that. Making her ask for allowance. CERB, C-E-R-B, those of you maybe that have already received it. Taking her money, EI the truckers, right? Taking their money, withholding their finances. And so not letting her know about or have access to family income. And in other words, controlling your income. And there's measures being taken right now so that all of our finances will be online. You know what I mean? It'll be digital currency. That's what I'm looking for. And folks, if we go that route, Trudeau has complete control. And that's what they're looking for. That's their goal. What about male privilege? The next one. Okay, we're still going over the power control wheel. Male privilege. I like this one. This one's, it's not funny, but it's so obviously fits. Treating her like a servant. Folks, when we vote someone in, and he certainly didn't have my vote, but when we vote someone in, they are there to serve the people, to have a servant attitude and not to look down on people, talk down to them. But again, here we have male privilege, treating her like a servant, making all the big decisions, acting like the master of the castle, being the one to define men and women's roles or Canadian citizens' role. You know, standing up there and pontificating and telling us how we're all doing it wrong, but he's the answer. So he creates the problem, first of all, with all of the economic abuse that we've gone through and the poverty and taking our jobs and so on. And then he comes in as the hero, as he puts the Canadian economy into trillions of dollars of debt. Just because he can. Male privilege, master of everyone. And nobody can say anything, okay? If anybody says anything, and that's coming back to the minimizing and blaming. If anybody says anything, then they're, again, the name calling and so on, they're abused emotionally and all the way down. So, okay, I think you get the gist of that. So anything else there? Oh, hey, let's just throw the Emergency Act in there for fun, right? Let's throw pastors, like we said, into prison. Let's call out the goons. Let's call out the police. Let's let everybody know, and this touches on the intimidation, the first one as well. Let's just let everybody know who's boss in the house here, okay? You're not going to get away with squat, okay? We'll throw you in prison. We'll take away your money. We'll push you around at the truckers' thing and so on. We'll tell them, everybody, that it's an insurrection, okay, when they're in fact constantly in touch. They had a representative, the truckers did. They had a representative who was in touch with the RCMP every day, had consultation every day. This was not an insurrection, folks, okay? But this is how someone with male privilege acts when he's a control freak. All right, so in the last one is coercion and threats, making and carrying out threats to do something to hurt her. Let's say, and yeah, so basically coercion in threats, which ties in with the other ones. And you know, the truckers protest is what it was. It wasn't an insurrection, like I said. It was a protest. And folks, it's not over yet. These people have had a taste of power. They don't let go of it quickly. One of the things that I tell women who are in dangerous situations, I say, we make plans, and I talk to them, okay, we make a plan as to how she can get out safely. So you're not, you can't leave the country, even though we can finally fly, but you know, we're not going to all move to some other free country like you know, Florida, which is a state, I know, but so what do we do? What's the answer? Well, get rid of the tyrant. Get rid of him. Vote him out next time. He got the lowest percentage of voting last time that there was a what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? He got 31%. Trudeau did. He's done. It's the lowest percentage that any prime minister in history has ever received. So let's do it again. Only let's give him nothing, okay? And let's put in a conservative person. Anyway, this isn't a political, even though it sounds political. What I'm saying is that all of these issues, when it comes to power and control, the entire country has suffered under this dictatorship, this communist, socialist style regime for the last 2 years. So everybody is feeling the impact of it. And we can make choices and vote people in so that we don't have to go through this anymore. Okay? Again, this isn't a political thing. It's so that we can be back in a country that's free again, and so that we can get on with lives and experience our freedom. But it isn't free. We have to speak out like I'm speaking to you now. And I don't even know if this will stay up. They'll probably take it down. But anyways, give it a listen to, and maybe we'll have more to say about this later. All right. So again, thanks for listening, and have an awesome Canada Day.